Oh my gosh, guys, this thing is now back to a proper 500. That is just freaking terrifying.
I know some of you guys have a pretty short attention span, so I want to get right to the point. I put a mod on this bike that woke it up exceptionally well.
And I can, oh my gosh! That literally broke that tire loose.
It's the GET ECU. I'm gonna go through all the things I did to put this on. We're gonna go through the install, but this thing is a freaking fire-breathing dragon now. And all we've done is two things. We put an exhaust on it, a slip-on exhaust, and we put the GET ECU in the bike. And now this giveaway bike, and yes, I'm giving it away at the end of the summer. If you wanna win this bike, join DBC Garage. There's links down in here, or buy anything you want from Rocky Mountain ATV using my links. But I haven't seen a transformation like this ever before. These KTM 500s are so plugged up with the exhaust and smog restrictions and the way the ECU is mapped. This thing is just like a beast waiting to be untamed, and today is another step in that process. So let's see how the GET ECU install went on this bike. All right, what's up everybody? This is the 2026 KTM 500 EXC-F, and we are swapping our ECU out for this GET ECU. So we'll pull off this cover here, and there we go. Unplug that one, put that aside. We'll plug in the GET ECU. Got this from Moto. Get this all the way back into the harness. Okay, for this application, we've got a Y connector here. So this splits off into a Y. And that's going to be for the Wi-Fi module and for the LED map selector. So I'm going to plug this into the main. And essentially what I think is happening is one of these is going to come back for the wireless module to connect to that thing, and the other one is going to go up towards the handlebars. So I'm going to install this on the opposite side of my clutch here. Just starting to do some cable management here with some zip ties to get this routed how I want. We're gonna take just one of these wires off our Y harness, and it's gonna go up here, go right up in this little channel here where the radiator is, and she goes in like that. Okay, that's connected. And then this one back here is just gonna come back towards this for the Wi-Fi connector. I just went ahead and put some electrical tape here over the connection because this is a spot that is going to get moisture, I believe, up in here. And I'm just gonna kind of put some cable ties on this stuff. Here's my Wi-Fi module, and I'm gonna take a picture of this just so I've got this information here. And it came with an extra sticker, and I just put this here. I don't know how long that'll last, but that way you could connect to the Wi-Fi module off this or this. It's the same thing. And the other end of my Y harness, just like so. And now it's just a matter of getting this tucked away, kind of doing some cable management. Okay, so that should be good for now. That was all pretty simple. So now we're going to reinstall the tank. Fish the fuel line back down in there, got that hooked up, hook up my fuel pump. We're gonna be replacing this fuel pump with the Moto snorkel, but that's a job for another day. Okay, moment of truth here. We just installed the GET ECU, got the fuel tank back on. We're gonna prime the pump just by hitting the starter once, maybe twice. Here's our GET lighting up. Starts right up. So she starts right up, sounds really sick with the rocket exhaust on here. But I did things one at a time. This still has the air boot reeds, the intake reeds in this air boot. I didn't take those out because I basically wanted to do things one step at a time. But the tune on this ECU is much different than what the stock ECU is. And so I'm gonna go out and just burn this thing around and tell you what I think.
Okay guys, I've been on the bike for about 4 minutes. First thing I need to say is that tire sucks. It's still the dual sport tire, and it It like literally, this thing lights it up. Now with this GET ECU, here's the GET. Here's our map switch. We're in map 1. One thing that's really cool is, see, it's illuminated blue, and if I get it up into neutral, that will switch to green. So it tells me that we're in neutral. If I go to map 2, it's still green. Then I switch down, notice it turned to purple. And if I go to map 1, if I can get this to go to map 1, map 1 is blue until I get it into neutral, and then it comes back to green, so I can tell it's a neutral indicator, which is sweet. But holy, oh my gosh, guys, this thing is now back to a proper 500. That is just freaking terrifying. And all it's doing is lighting up that rear wheel. I am literally, I don't have all my gear on. I've got pants, I've got shoes on, I've got a helmet, I've got goggles, that's it. But this thing is freaking terrifying. And I'm just like literally out on this dirt path behind the house, behind the neighborhood. And I can, oh my gosh, that is so bloody crazy. I'm trying to be careful on this knee. That knee I just put down is my knee I'm still rehabbing. I'm about 7 months out of surgery, don't have my knee brace on, but this has so freaking much power. All it is doing is breaking loose. It's insane. I'll click up. This is gonna be third, I think, and it's just, you roll on that power and it's just like, oh my gosh. Just breaks that thing loose. There's 55 miles an hour. That is zero, I mean not 0 to 55, but the point is, this freaking, that map 1 is insane. I'm gonna go to map 2 and just see if I can tell a difference. I hate these tires. Like, these tires are fine for dual, this is why I don't dual sport. Because if you get a tire that is okay for riding on the roads, legal on the roads, it sucks, you know what. That's keeping the bike wide open, just slamming gears. And that freaking ECU, between the ECU and the rocket exhaust now, this thing is a monster. Everywhere I go, I don't know if you can tell, but because I'm the only bike that's been back here, it is just lighting up that wheel. That wheel, I gotta get a real dirt bike tire on this and then actually go for a real ride, because I can't tell. All I know is the thing is just lighting the wheel everywhere. Now we're out here on the road with the dual sport tires. That's, you know, what they're supposed to be able to do, do a little bit of dirt and a little bit of road. And like, it's pretty hot today, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if this bike, there goes the fan, she's kicking on. I wouldn't be surprised if this bike could light up that rear wheel. Just like, I'm gonna be careful, because I know if I get on it hard on any sort of a turn, like, I think that thing would just walk out and I would, you know, potentially dump myself. It sounds so mean. I'm back into map 1. We're gonna head up this road here. It feels so weird, dirt bike channel, riding a dirt bike on the street. But will we still have street legal tires? We're gonna do it. We're gonna let this guy get a little bit up. That literally broke that tire loose. Broke the tire loose. Between the exhaust and that GET ECU, this thing is ready to roll.
After a plug and play mod like this with that ECU, this bike actually is freaking scary at this point. It took it from, I don't even know, around 38 or 40 horsepower, and now with these two additions that we've done with the slip-on and the ECU, it's more like pushing 60 horsepower. It's like it's unlocking another half of the bike. This has not been my experience with any of the two-strokes I've ever been around, because they're basically, you know, tuned for performance. But a bike like this 500 EXC-F, was not tuned for performance. It was tuned to pass emissions and to pass sound restrictions and be quiet. But now the bike is no longer quiet. Probably wouldn't pass the same emissions it was supposed to be passing before, but the thing is a proper freaking fire-breathing dragon, and it is absolutely sick now. The next thing I'm gonna do is take these tires off of it, put some actual dirt tires on it, and then get it out on the dirt, and I cannot wait. Again, if you want to win this bike, become a member of DBC Garage. It's the best way to do it. Or you can go to my website, pick up a shirt, or you can click on my links for Rocky Mountain ATV and buy anything they sell. So this bike will be given away. Also the KTM 300XC that's sitting right over there. Both of the bikes are there for the summer, for the taking. And the DBC Garage winner, it's a private prize pool. The DBC Garage winner is going to pick between this one and the 300XC. And then the other bike is going to be given away in a separate drawing, which DBC Garage members are already, they're simultaneously in both of the drawings. So it couldn't be, it's a cheat code to join DBC Garage. But if you don't want to do that, buy a shirt, buy tie downs, buy anything I got over there. Or anytime you're buying stuff, like if you're buying things, like you're buying tires or tools or things like that, go to my website first, or click the link in the description, click on one of my links to Rocky Mountain ATV, and then buy anything they sell, and it gets you free entries all year long to win my bikes. I'm practically paying you to use my links. In fact, I really actually am. So yeah, hopefully we have some fun on this bike here in the summer. Hopefully now the knee's strong enough to start putting a little bit more paces into it and ride this bike in the 300XC. And this thing's a beast now. So go get your entries to win it. And I'm gonna have some fun riding this thing. Thanks you guys, and leave a single track.